Bringing something in from the
to
archives.
the indictment, as is the normal process in Georgia law. The grand jury issued arrest warrants for those who are charged.
I am told, this is hearsay, but I am told by a reliable source that Friday evening somebody from Washington called the district attorney in Atlanta and said, you have to indict on Monday. We have to cover up all of the mistakes we just made with Weiss.
I am giving the defendants the opportunity to voluntarily surrender no later than noon on Friday, the 25th day of August, 2023.
And she said, apparently, my jurors aren't coming back till Tuesday. And they said, you didn't hear me. You have to indict on Monday.
I remind everyone here that an indictment is only a series of allegations based on a grand jury's determination of probable cause to support the charges.
And she said, apparently, my jurors aren't coming back till Tuesday. And they said, you didn't hear me. You have to indict.
It is now the duty of my office to prove these charges in the indictment beyond a reasonable doubt at trial. It is now the duty of my office to prove these charges in the indictment beyond a reasonable doubt at trial.
Hey everybody, it's Everett with Ohio for Freedom, and it is the 11th of January, just at 7 o'clock Eastern. Something really big happening this week as relates to Fulton County, Georgia. It is an answer to prayer. There's a lot that we can learn about it. There's a lot of ground to cover, so let's get started.
I hear the sweet sound of freedom, and I won't be long.
Please like, please share, please subscribe, and please leave a comment. And then after you leave a comment, subscribe again, share again, and leave another comment. Okay, we are heavily censored, but I want to get this out here. I'm going to be on here very briefly this evening. The opener that I played, pardon me, was actually played back in August of this year. Funny Fani Willis had issued an indictment against President Trump and many of his co-conspirators. And I did a whole program showing how ridiculous the actual lawsuit was. But that's not really the tack that I want to go in tonight, because there were some powerful things that came to light, and they are an answer to prayer. So I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to play that exact clip one more time, and we're going to break it down a little bit, and then we're going to go into the news that we just received. So let's just play that, and then here we go.
To the indictment, as is the normal process in Georgia law.
I'm going to stop right there. If you will remember going back in August, it was not the normal process of Georgia law. What you're going to hear Newt Gingrich say, and he had it on good authority. He came out and said he couldn't prove it, but he was very confident of the reliability of the source. Funny Fani Willis was told by somebody in Washington, you have to indict President Trump to take pressure off and divert attention away from the stupid mistakes that were made by Weiss. Now, she is making this announcement at like 1:45 which is not the course and the normal process of Georgia law. And she's rushing the grand jury because they weren't even finished. But I'm going to let
the grand jury issued arrest warrants for those who are charged.
I am told, this is hearsay, but I am told by a reliable source that Friday evening somebody from Washington called the district attorney in Atlanta and said, you have to indict on Monday. We have to cover up all of the mistakes we just made with Weiss.
I am giving the defendants the opportunity to voluntarily.
Okay, I'm going to stop on, I'll just stop right there on what Speaker Gingrich said, that he had it on his reliable source that Funny Fani had been told, basically commanded from on high, that she had to indict President Trump. Now, all along, Joe Biden has said that there's no collusion, no interaction between these indictments against the real president, President Trump. The DOJ has said there's no collusion, and yet this week, bombshells have come out. Now, before I get into some slides that talk about what the news that came out this week is all about, I'm going to play, and I don't ever do this, but I'm going to do this. I'm going to play 20 seconds of a live that I did back at that time. Let's get that done, get it out of the way.
It's Everett here. I wanted to come on and say real quick, thank you to everybody that prayed and everybody that watched Tucker Carlson and did not watch Fox. So I came on here, I think about noon on Wednesday, and I just felt a burden to do so. I woke up in Wednesday morning praying in the Spirit, and I knew that I was praying about Fulton County, about Georgia. And I just wanted to share something with you that I think might be encouraging.
Okay, so I'm going to get out of that. Why did I play that? Well, one thing I've found is if I do like a Car Talk Live on a phone, now if I do a live stream at the studio here, it's there, it stays there. I can go back months later, it'll still be there for some reason, and I don't know why. And this is talking about, because the lives I always do on Facebook only if it's remote with the phone, and it only gives me the ability to post it. It says post for 30 days. And so I can't go back and get all of that, but there was a reel that was created out of that. And it said all that to say this. A couple of days after the announcement was made, and we knew that the president was going to have to turn himself in Fulton County, there was Tuesday or Wednesday morning of that week, I literally woke up, and I woke up praying in the Holy Ghost, praying in the Spirit. I woke up praying, and I knew that I was praying about Fulton County. And I did have a burden. I had to do that live. And I believe I entitled that live, because it's gone now, because Zuckerberg already took it. But it was called Angels Over Georgia. And I was encouraging people to please pray for President Trump and pray over Fulton County, Georgia. And there were three things that I was asking people to pray about. One was simply protection for the president, that in his travels and all of his goings about, that he would be protected. Two, to pray against any false flags. The president showing up at Fulton County in Georgia to turn himself in would have been a perfect opportunity for a false flag operation that would have initiated or resulted in violence to make the MAGA and make President Trump look bad. Pardon me. And then number three, I asked people to pray for angels of exposure. And I was quick to say, I'm not saying that there is an angel or there are angels called exposure, but pray for angels to be involved in the activity of the ministry of exposure. And then I want to share this. Not 1,000%. My early morning time prayer is not 1,000, but it's pretty consistent. And for months now, as I have prayed over and prayed about President Trump and tried to lift him up and release him to God for God's purposes over, I'm just being honest with you, over and over and over. I've prayed about the Georgia case. I've prayed about the Washington, D.C., the federal case. I've prayed about the New York case. And over and over and over again, it has come to me the word trifecta. That's like a trifecta of evil. And I have prayed that angels would be involved in exposure. Now, listen, as I say this, I'm not the only one praying that way. Please don't think that I think that. I don't think that way. But by the same token, I do want to say, I know that 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 God put that in my heart. And we've been praying for exposure. And lo and behold, look what has happened. Now, in the comments section, I'm going to post a few links, but I want to challenge you, because this needs to be shared. It needs to be realized. It needs to be celebrated. And it needs to be shared. And it needs to be shared especially with those who are still somehow asleep. But I'm going to read a timeline here in just a moment. Maybe I'll come to that in a minute. But in a nutshell, and I want to keep this real simple and at the best of my ability, which I'm not very good at this, I want to be brief. It came out this week that Fannie Willis has paid her lover boy attorney boyfriend almost $700,000 of Fulton County money, hiring him as basically a private contractor prosecutor to prosecute President Trump. His name is Nathan Wade. Nathan Wade is an attorney, and Nathan Wade has worked in a prosecutor's office, not Fulton County, I don't believe, not in Fannie Willis's office, but he has never done anything that would give him the credentials to be involved in a federal or such a high level case. Yet Fannie Willis has managed to funnel almost $700,000 to Nathan Wade, the attorney, who happens to be her lover, who happens to be somebody that she was playing games with while he was still married. And then it gets really, really rich. Nathan Wade has taken some of the money that Funny Fannie has paid him. Oh, and get this. For Funny Fannie to pay this private contractor attorney, Nathan Wade, she has to have permission from the county, like the county commissioners or however that government hierarchy is set up. She didn't do that. She just hired him and she just paid him. So that's like unethical and it's illegal. She needs to go to jail. But on top of that, Nathan Wade has taken almost $700,000 and paid for expensive, lavish love trysts and vacations with Funny Fannie. And that, besides being unethical and being yucky, it's probably illegal on at least two levels, because when you're paying a contractor and that contractor is turning around and spending money on you personally as an elected official, that's not right, folks. But that's exactly what happened. So having laid the foundation for that, and that's not the worst, but let's get to it. So I'm just Canacoa the Great on Twitter. Go to Twitter, Canacoa the Great. Very, very easy to find. Probably done one of the best jobs of pulling this all together. I am going to take a couple of minutes and just read this timeline from Canacoa the Great's Twitter page. Yesterday, in a shocking revelation, Marco Polo uncovered a significant connection between Nathan Wade, Fannie Willis, lead prosecutor, and the Biden White House. Fannie Willis, lead prosecutor, held meetings with Biden's White House counsel on May 23rd, November 18th, 2022, before indicting Donald Trump. Remember when Fannie Willis prematurely leaked President Trump's indictment before announcing it at a late night press conference at 11:37 p.m.? Newt Gingrich, we just played the video, told Charlie Kirk that someone from D.C. called Fannie Willis and demanded she indict Trump that night, Monday, August 14th, 2023, to divert attention away from the Weiss screw-up. That Weiss screw-up originated on July 19, 2023, when IRS whistleblowers testified before Congress about DOJ and Wise blocking investigators from filing felony charges against Hunter Biden, tipping off Hunter about search warrants, preventing witness interviews, and restricting any investigations into President Joe Biden. Going to keep reading. Senator Chuck Grassley later released an FBI FD 1023 form detailing a $10 million bribery scheme involving VP Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. 1 week later, Judge Noriega dismantled Weiss's unprecedented sweetheart immunity deal for Hunter, questioning why the DOJ granted full-scale immunity to Hunter Biden. In the following weeks, the House Oversight Committee released bank records showing payments to the Bidens from Russia, Kazakhstan, and Ukraine. Representative James Comer disclosed over 170 suspicious activity reports submitted by 6 banks to the Treasury Department, implicating the Biden family in money laundering, human trafficking, and tax fraud. Devin Archer, Hunter Biden's business partner, claimed President Joe Biden was involved in over 20 calls regarding his son's foreign business dealings. So leading up to Friday, August 11th, 2023, Garland appointed Weiss as special counsel despite prior false statements to Congress that Weiss already had the authority to file the charges against Hunter, further exposing the DOJ's corruption. Garland appointed Weiss after he was the attorney who approved Hunter Biden's unprecedented sweetheart deal. IRS whistleblowers testified before Congress that Weiss had obstructed the investigation of the Bidens for the last 5 years, and this would explain why Fani Willis leaked the indictment prematurely on Monday, August 14th, before holding a press conference at 11:45, shifting the media's focus away from the DOJ protecting Biden to Fani Willis indicting Trump. As revealed in court filings yesterday, Nathan Wade, Fani Willis, lead prosecutor, held meetings with Biden White House counsel at the beginning and near the end of her grand jury, strategically coordinating Biden's prosecution of Trump. And so we find out from this filing that was made by one of the defendants that this attorney, this lover boy attorney, Nathan Wade, that funny Fani had farcically funneled all this almost $700,000 to, get this, that he'd spent part of taking her on these lavish vacations. He actually billed funny Fani and her prosecutor's office. We're going to show you this right here. Actually billed. They're trying to say they have no collusion with the White House. They're trying to say they have no collusion with the Department of Justice. And yet it has come out, angels of exposure, thank you, Lord, that this Nathan Wade lover boy prosecutor boyfriend of funny Fani, I'm pointing right at it, literally has billed Fulton County on 2 different occasions. It's only $250 an hour, but for hours of meetings at the White House. At the White House. Maybe I'll take a minute and read Brian's. Okay, yeah, I don't think I'll read that comment right now. So here is the thing, folks. They're exposed. Funny Fani is a farce, and she is exposed. Her lover, boyfriend prosecutor submitted records that show that they're in collusion with the White House. And then it even gets better than that. Then yesterday, we find out that Fani Willis herself has had 5 hours of secretive, hard to find out it happened meetings at the White House. Folks, funny Fani is an extension of Joe Biden's White House. Funny Fani is an extension of the Department of Justice. And this really, really helps President Trump's case. I'm going to sign off by just recommending a couple of things. Pray over this trifecta of cases. It is a farce. It is an affront to justice, and it's an insult to every patriotic American, but it's not going to stand. I think in this year coming up, it's very important to stay personally in tune with God on an individual level and to pray over things concerning our nation and concerning our world, and at the same time, not getting caught up in those things, but continuing to walk with the Lord, because this is massive, massive, massive exposure. What is the next thing that's going to be exposed? What is the next thing that God is going to uncover? How is this case, this federal case with Jack Smith, how is that going to unravel? Because it is. How is this court case that's proceeding in New York with Letitia James, and they had closing arguments today, how is that going to unravel? Because it is. I'm not sure, but I'm going to keep praying and keep believing. So, and that's what I wanted to share. Please go to your search engine and type in Fani Willis. Let's see, type in Fani Willis, White House collusion. Fani Willis hires lover boy boyfriend. That's all you'll need. And find those stories, glance through them, and please share, because it's all falling apart. We'll see y'all Sunday night. And until next time, God bless you. God bless your family. God bless the state of Ohio. State legislature voted to veto Mike DeWine's, voted to overturn Mike DeWine's veto. Now we're waiting on the Ohio Senate. I believe they're going to do the same. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless the state of Ohio. And God bless the United States of America. Good night.
I hear the sweet sound of freedom.